Hello, and this is my overall team preview for my season 4 of the UCC tournament in yeah, in my UCC tournament. So I have from last season I have drafted 3 new Pokemon, and today I'm going to go through all 12 Pokemon and why I chose them and why they should, fingers crossed, help me do much better than last season where I finished 8th place. Um, okay, so my first Pokemon is Origami the Kartana, which is obviously an Ultra Beast with Beast Boost, Beast Boost, and is my physical attacker with 181 attack, which is monstrous, and quite defensive as well. So if I need to, I can run it as my defensive wall, but that's only a this large ditch effort if I ever do so. Um, it's also quite speedy, so if I slap a choice scuff on it, it outspeeds most things, and obviously with the Beast Boost, I get a plus attack, so I get stronger. Um, yeah, and Kartana's move pool isn't that amazing. I mean, it gets decent stab, it gets like X Scissor and Night Slash, and that's about it. I mean, if I want to be that guy, I can run special, but 59 special attack isn't that great. So it does what it does job really well, but it's easily predictable. So I will tend not to bring it to most of the battles. Second pick is Mega Alakazam. Dr. Spoon's Mega Alakazam has been with me since season 5. It's a monster. Also one of my favourite megas. Dr. Spoon's, because Trace is a great ability in my opinion, because if you, for example, switch into a Sheer Force, Psychic, Mega Alakazam, nothing is living unless you're Dark type. And then all them crazy other abilities you can copy. You can run it Bulk Standard set you can run is probably Carmine, Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, but you can run Focus Blast, Grass Knot, Hidden Power, depending on who you're playing. You can run Recover and all sorts. It's got amazing special attack, like Origami, but this time special attack. I think it's my fastest mon, or base 150. So most Pokemon are not going to outspeed Mega Alakazam unless they are scarfed. Like Kartana, it can be run specially bulky to eat any special hit like a Dark Pulse if I need to, and counter with a Dazzling Gleam, which is very useful. Yep, and second pick, Sylveon. New pick for season 7, Ribbons, because I'm so creative with my nicknames. It's sort of it's it's like Mega Alakazam, sort of, because it's got high special attack, high special defense, but it's not as fast as Mega Alakazam, but it's more specially bulky. So, and Fairy type is a good defensive typing because also weak to poison and steel, and that's it. So, unless you want to hit me with a Sludge Bomb or a Flash Cannon, special move wise, I should be able to eat it up. Pixelate with usual sets, either Choice Specs Pixelate or a Leftovers Carbine Pixelate. I mean, I can fiddle around with probably Heal Belt or Screens or something, and Wish if I need to, but you know, bog standard Choice Specs Pixelate is always the best option for Sylveon. And Bishop, I drafted him last season. He didn't do that well last season. I think he was -1 differential by the end, so not that great, but I only brought it to a couple of battles because Dark and Steel wasn't really that effective. Because if I want a Steel type, I'd have been Kartana, and Dark type didn't really match up very well last season. So Bishop may not get as much work as I'd hope to, because I could obviously run Sucker Punch, Iron Head, Swords Dance, Protect, all that sort of stuff, Poison Jab. And yeah, it gets a very diverse move pool, to be fair. But yeah, I'm still umming and ahhing about Bishop, to be honest. With Define is a great ability as well, because if someone wants to run sticky webs, if someone wants to run Intimidate Mon, I can get +2 straight away, like that, and that will, an Iron Man will run wreck, because once again, high attack stat, high defense stat, can also run as a defensive wall, but once again, worst case scenario, I'll have to bring a defensive bishop. Another one of my Season 7 pickups is Mian Xiao Wushu. Wushu is a ancient Chinese martial art, which is why I call it that, because it's a martial arts Pokemon, obviously. You get some brilliant abilities. Regenerator is always a good ability, especially when running with U-turn. It makes it a monster. As well as Reckless High Jump Kick. Choice Band Reckless High Jump Kick, unless you're a Ghost type, is doing considerable amount of damage, because Wushu is a monster. It can also be run special with its 95 special attack. So I could run Calm Mind if I want to run Aura Sphere or Focus Blast, but it's mainly going to be run physical with probably High Jump Kick or Rock Slide or anything really. Bounce, Dual Chop, Focus Punch, Low Sweep to slow him down. And yeah, so Mian Xiao, the physical monster that is Mian Xiao. Now, Decidueye. Decidueye has been with me once again since Season 5. It is basically it's one of my main defoggers, and it's also can be run attack, physical and special, and also runs a special wall. So it's a good versatile Pokemon. It can, I mean, when the hidden abilities for the starts finally come out, I probably won't be using it, because Long Reach is absolute garbage unless you're up against a Ferrothorn. And why would you battle a Ferrothorn with a Decidueye anyway? So, yeah, so it gets a very diverse move pool. It gets Brave Bird, it gets Sucker Punch, it gets Shadow Claw, it gets Spirit Shackle signature move, which is amazing if you want to trap something in, and then you can switch out to the perfect counter for that Pokemon. Sucker Punch, U-turn. What else does it get? It gets Low Sweep as well. Do know it got Low Sweep. Smackdown, Steel Wing. So very diverse move pool. I can also run Decidium Z for the powerful Z move, which I've used before, and every time I've used it hasn't gone very well because they've just switched into like an Intimidate Mon or a normal type. So yeah, leaves lack to be desired. Right, my second 6 Pokemon is Darmanitan DK, because in shiny form it kind of looks like Donkey Kong. It's probably my main wall breaker, because Darmanitan, as I've seen before used by other players in this draft, that Darmanitan is easily unstoppable, pretty much. Sheer Force is the only ability you'd want to use on it, because Zen Mode is because Sheer Force is so amazing. Why would you run Zen Mode? I usually run it either Scarf or Life Orb, because of Sheer Force. You don't get the damage from Life Orb. Otherwise, Life Orb is it's good. Life Orb is a good item only on a Sheer Force Mon, because the damage isn't taking that 1/8% damage or whatever it is. It's much to be desired. So Flare Blitz, obviously. Flare Blitz, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Superpower is the main moveset for Darmanitan, but it can be run. You can run U-turn, Zen Headbutt. You can make it defensive. I mean, HP wise, defensively, because 55 and 55, it's not eating any kind of hit. So I tend to run it Scarfed if it's up against a fast team. If not, I'll just run Life Orb, because base 95 is still a decent enough speed stat. Next we have Broxish Candy Lips, because his lips look like the sweets you used to get, the candy lips. A bit like Darmanitan, but not as hard hitting, because it's got 40 less base attack and it's slightly slower. So, but Froxish is a monster because in first season I got it. I basically saved my bacon in some games with Choice Band, Strong Jaw, Ice Fang, and Strong Jaw, Choice Band, Psychic Fangs. Choice Band, Strong Jaw, Psychic Fangs does considerable amount of damage to anything. Obviously not a Dark type, but Psychic Fangs. Also, good thing, it gets rid of screens, which is very useful because some players tend to use screens a lot, and which can be quite annoying. So, also Aurora Veil with Alola Ninetales, and yeah, and Dazzling is brilliant if they've got lots of priority in their team, like for example, Blazing Knights, who's got Infernape, Dugtrio, and all sorts. So, Dazzling is a good move to have. Move pool is kind of good. It gets Aqua Jet, Crunch. It gets loads of Fang moves, obviously, to make use of Strong Jaw, like Ice Fang, Crunch, Poison Fang. Yeah. The only physical water type moves it gets is either Aqua Jet, Aqua Tail, or Waterfall. So Aqua Jet is good for priority. Waterfall is probably the better option over Aqua Tail because it doesn't miss, and also it has a chance to flinch, which is very good because flinch can come in clutch, definitely in a UCC battle. Now Rocky Road to Regirock, because I mean, it just reminds me of Rocky Road Cake. Is my main defensive wall because it has a monstrous 200 defense stat. I'm saying at 200, which is the highest stat on all of my Pokemon. Regirock is the perfect rock user because it can eat any hit pretty much as long as it's not special, and easily you get Stealth Rock, Rock Slide. It gets Ice Punch, Iron Head, Parrot Punch, Rock Slide, Seismic Toss, Superpower, Thunder Punch. It gets all of it. And also, because your defense stat is so high, you can run counter. Because let's say, I don't know, a Mamoswine hits you with a Earthquake and does 40 to 50% because your attack stat, your defense stat is so high, you kill it straight away with the counter, which is quite helpful. You can run Rock Polish, you can run Curse. I mean, Curse set is disgusting because your defense goes sky high and nothing can hit you unless you're a special attacker. So if I bring Regirock and manage to kill all of their special attackers, it's not looking good for the other team, I'm afraid. And going down to my tier 5 Pokemon is Glaceon the Elsa the Glaceon, not Glaceon the Elsa. Glaceon the Elsa. Elsa the Glaceon is here. And at the start of last season, I thought, nah, Glaceon is not going to be a good mod. Turns out, to the last 2 games of the season, did quite well. Choice Specs Blizzard and Choice Specs Ice Beam do a lot of damage because it has 130 special attack, which most people don't really know because Glaceon isn't that used that much because it's so slow and hasn't got a good HP stat. But you can't just sit on 130 special attack and not be a monster. It's got good defensive stat of 110 and defense at 95, so you could probably eat one hit super effective, like a flamethrower or or a sphere or jump kick or anything. As long as it's not a monstrous weakness move, it should live. And also it gets Aurora Veil, which is an amazing. It's just basically Reflect and Light Screen put together for 5 turns, so you don't have to waste 2 turns to set up both screens, which is amazing. But you need Hail, and Elsa's probably the only Pokemon that can learn Hail, which is quite annoying. But came in clutch, went up against an Alolan Ninetales though with that beautiful Hail usage. I could run Hail and then I could run Blizzard because then Blizzard will never miss, because they never miss in hail. And so Elsa is here. Okay, Rabid Ben. Stunfisk is the secret monster of my team, because last season it got the most kills with 6. I don't know how, with Darmanitan, Kartana, Mega Alakazam, and Bishop on the team, but Stunfisk killed the most Pokemon, which is still shocking to me today. Because I tend to run it as a defensive / special defensive wall, which is not really made to kill things, but you know, it works. It works. It's my. It also can. I usually run it Stealth Rocks with either Earth Power, Discharge, and then either Protect, Toxic, Pain Split. That's about it really. I could run. I've run Infestation before, which is a very interesting set because if it's a bulky mon, I can just sit there and eat up my leftovers and slowly whittle the Pokemon down, which is probably a douchey tactic, but if worst comes to worst, Rabid Ben the Stunfisk can come through. And finally, we have Rotom Fan, who is not a fan, even though he is, which I tend to run Air Balloon, Levitate with Flying type. That means no Earthquakes ever hit me, of course. Why would I run Air Balloon? It can be. I usually run it Spexed because Choice Specs Air Slash, Choice Specs Volt Switch does a considerable amount of damage to pretty much most things. Probably not a ground type, but they can't touch me in return, which is very useful. I can run it Assault Vest because its defenses are really high, really good, so I can run it as a defensive wall, a special wall, and all sorts. It gets screens, it gets rest, it gets trick, it gets willow, it gets charge beam, it gets all sorts of moves which can be very beneficial in draft league format. So that is all I need to say on my monstrous team. I hope I do much better than last season of 8th place, so I'm aiming for 7th place. Get them expectations as low as possible, so you can overachieve if you get anything better. So hopefully I do well. If you think of any set I can possibly run with any of my 12 Pokemon, that'd be superb. And I will catch you later with my first Pokemon battle. See ya.